Welcome back to Brashenomics. A lot of people are out there in their house. They're trying to make the best decisions. And recently, real estate is top of mind. It has been for quite a while now. And a lot of people, although they have invested or they thought they had invested in their primary residence, their home, now people are kind of finding themselves, maybe their lives have gone on, they have kids, and they find themselves in a place where really they need to build their house differently, grow their house, make it more correct for their lifestyle. Now, city builders projects have been featured in both local and national publications, including the Seattle Times, Eastside Journal, Better Homes and Garden, and Home Remodeling and Makeovers. And Gregg's here, the president. Welcome, Gordon.
How you doing?
Good. First time you're fixing your motorcycle today. Got to be a good day to think about riding.
I didn't get to ride it because we're working on people's houses.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good. I mean, as an industry, it's not the hottest industry out there.
Not right now, it isn't, but it's hopefully going to pick up this year.
We right before we went to while we were at break, we were talking a little bit about pricing, and in the mortgage world, everybody's waiting for prices to come down. Is your industry? It's kind of that same thing. You got to go out there and throw your bids out there. That's got to be tough to deal with.
There are a lot of companies that are kind of bid, throw a number against the wall type, see what sticks type companies. We're kind of in a league of groups of people where we do a full design service where we help them develop and design the project. So the pricing structure is actually more interactive with the client as time goes. These other gentlemen were talking about, credit risks and investments and this type of thing. And one of the curses to the remodeling industry years ago was my home was the best investment that I've ever made. And your home is a place that you can live with your family, you can enjoy your wife and your kids, and it was never really intended to be a retirement entity for you and your family. So when people say, well, gosh, I don't want to fix my house and make my house more fun to live in, because that might not be a good investment. In the long run, it probably will be a good investment, but in the meantime, your lifestyle is enhanced greatly.
Well, it's that dollars and cents, I think, versus lifestyle, right? I mean, people tend to think that, and I don't know what this, and maybe we can even hit on this when everybody comes back, but everybody makes decisions almost only financially now. It seems like it's tough to say, I just want a nicer kitchen. Well, you call a real estate agent and you say, well, what's the return on this going to be? And maybe that keeps people out of trouble. But sometimes you can make a decision that isn't only financial, especially when it comes to your house.
Well, there's been a cost versus value report that's been produced by Realtors Association, Builders Association. I think they're in tandem. And Hanley Wood Publications out of the East Coast has produced several articles consistently over the last 15 years in regards to that. And a major kitchen remodel has had a return on your investment as high as 158%. And, a good business in any industry, if they can show a 5 to 10% net profit at the end of the year, they're doing really well. So by having your kitchen remodeled, it was actually as good an investment as any stock out there. Well, historically, over the last 35 or 40 years, to get a 60% return immediately on whatever home improvement that you were going to choose to do for your family's lifestyle, was pretty reasonable. And there for a while, it was really leaning heavily in the client's favor. Now it's more, you're going to get an immediate return of someplace between 55 and 70% here in the Northwest. Over the course of the next 5 to 7 years, more than likely, your house will appreciate again, and the home improvements that you've done to enhance your lifestyle will go right up with it.
And so when people have their home as their investment, but then they also have other homes, do you see that as a way to enhance the investment of not only primary residences, but also investment properties?
I would, if I was going to invest in real estate, I would make my real estate investments very deliberate business decisions. And especially right now where we've had some reductions in house values, and do the obligatory maintenance, make sure that they're rentable, make sure you don't have to have them vacant for too long before you can put a tenant in it, and look at that completely different than the way you would your lifestyle home.
And ultimately, you think, I mean, since you're making a business decision, it's also a little bit warm and fuzzy, though, right? I mean, you're building maybe a rental property the way that you would want it, which also turns into a business decision because renters want to live there.
Yeah, but I believe that there's been some recent tax changes on how much interest that you can write off on investment properties unless you are an actual real estate corporation. So I think I'd talk to your accountant and look at some of those things really closely.
It's how active you are in real estate and passive losses and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Although talk to your accountant, absolutely. Talk a little bit about, what maybe doesn't have immediate value. You talk about there's some changes and additions, remodels, cosmetic that maybe doesn't have immediate value. Is there things that truly are only lifestyle and not financial?
A big fancy media room with a whole lot of really high-end equipment today is going to have a higher expense where that technology might be antiquated in 5 to 10 years. If you really enjoy that room, then why shouldn't you have it if you can afford it? It's similar to, the computer system and the talking GPS and the heated leather seats and the heated mirrors in your car. It'll take a $30,000 car and make it cost $55,000, and you're in it for maybe an hour a day. If you looked at your house that way, you'd spend $500,000 on a house that was only worth $400,000, but we don't do that. Because the house is an investment. The car is just a toy. So.
Right. A real asset versus one that literally goes down the second you drive it off the lot. Do you think that people, is that just it's just a tough place for people to put money because maybe they don't see a return?
Oh,
I mean, when you're advising people, you say you're working with people kind of from beginning to end.
I have a few people that say, look, I love my neighborhood. I love the church that I walk to every Sunday, the grocer, the butcher. We want to live here. This is where we're going to be here forever. And so they want to make serious lifestyle investments, and they're not looking at a return on their investment. If I have somebody that's really wanting to make an investment, and I think that they're pushing the envelope of what their house is worth, especially after you look at the cost of sale, your real estate fee, your real estate commissions and fees and whatnot, I feel a responsibility to recommend that what they might want to do before they would invest this money is to go around and look at what a house that size with those attributes would sell for on the market, what they can get. That would give them an idea what they can sell their house for, and possibly even have a market analysis done by a real estate agent before they decide to move forward with some sort of remodeling project.
And in fact, you could even get an appraisal done based on the plans. So, you spend a few bucks on getting those plans done, and you could do it. You could have an agent look at it, or you could get a full-blown appraisal to see what it would be worth. Now.
Absolutely, and people would say, "Well, why would you do that? They're a prospect. They're willing to spend money on their house now." I feel like if I have their best interests at heart, we might not work on this house, but they might be buying another house at some point in time and call us back for service.
In some point in time, everybody needs an updated bathroom.
Everybody needs an updated everything. We humans wear everything out.
That's right. Well, Gordon, thanks so much for joining us. Again, that is Gordon Gregg, president of City Builders Remodeling and Construction.